Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're planning a longer stay in Hong Kong, maybe a few weeks, maybe months. The big question is, where do you actually stay? It's more than just a room, right? It's about finding a temporary base.
Absolutely. And, for anyone facing that, especially if you're there for business or maybe looking to relocate longer term, the sheer number of choices can be, well, a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We've been looking at some insights from moveandstay.com. They've actually been helping people find places across Asia for like over 25 years. So they've got a really good handle on the Hong Kong short-term rental market.
Wow, a quarter century. They must have seen it all change. And the article mentioned, what was it, over 6,700 listings just on Airbnb a few years back. That's huge. Where do you even start to, narrow it down?
Well, that's what moveandstay.com's article helps break down. It really outlines the main categories. You've got renting an entire place just for yourself,
Yeah.
or getting a private room in a shared flat. Then there are hotel rooms, but set up for longer stays. Shared rooms, like in hostels, for the super budget conscious. And then, more specific stuff like beachfront or family-friendly options.
Okay, let's start with the entire place. That sounds pretty appealing, doesn't it? Having it all to yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely the big draw, the autonomy. You control everything, total privacy. You can properly unpack and kind of make it your own for a while.
Right.
And the article highlights, usually get a proper kitchen, laundry facilities, things that make a huge difference if you're not just there for a weekend.
Oh, totally. Being able to cook, do your own washing,
Ah,
that saves money and hassle. I think the article even mentions someone having a bad experience sharing, which really makes you appreciate having your own quiet space.
exactly. Peace and quiet can be golden.
Mm.
But moveandstay.com also stresses the practical side. You've got to check the details.
Yeah.
What amenities are actually included? Is the Wi-Fi decent?
Yeah.
Aircon. And the house rules need to know those up front. Plus, location, location, location. Right. Is it near the MTR? Is the neighborhood safe, convenient for what you need?
Yeah, it's like setting up a mini life almost. And cost-wise, for longer stays, it could potentially work out cheaper than a hotel, couldn't it? Especially if you're cooking and doing laundry yourself.
Definitely. Plus, moveandstay.com points to service departments as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of a mix, isn't it? Apartment living, but with some hotel-like services.
Ah, right. The best of both worlds, maybe?
Could be. They often have flexible leases, too, which is great if you're on a work assignment or just testing the waters.
Okay, so what about private room rentals? That sounds like a way to save some cash but still have your own, door to close.
Yeah, that's the idea. You get your own bedroom, bed, desk, wardrobe, usually, but you're sharing the common areas, kitchen, living room, bathroom. Those are communal.
Uh-huh.
MoveInStay.com notes this is really popular for solo travelers or anyone watching the budget closely.
So you trade a bit of that total privacy for affordability. But the article mentions something interesting, like cultural immersion. You might actually meet locals or other travelers this way.
Yeah, that's a potential bonus. You could get some great local tips, find cool spots you wouldn't otherwise discover. It's a way to connect more, maybe.
Hmm.
The article even mentions hostels that offer private rooms. Sometimes they're in great locations and pretty clean, offering good value.
That's good to know. Hostels aren't just dorms. But like moveandstay.com says, if you really need guaranteed quiet and privacy everywhere, maybe a private room isn't quite the perfect fit.
Exactly. It's a trade-off. You weigh up cost versus privacy versus the social side.
Okay, let's switch gears to hotel room rentals for longer stays. Seems counterintuitive almost, but the article suggests it works.
It can, yeah. The big pluses are convenience and service. Daily cleaning, gym, pool maybe, place to eat right there, concierge.
And a hassle-free option.
Pretty much. MoveandStay.com points out it's often ideal for business travelers. People who value that ease and don't want to manage an apartment space.
Makes sense. No worrying about leaky taps or cleaning schedules. But the article reminds you to still check location near transport, near where you need to be, and obviously check the amenities and try to get a decent rate for a longer stay.
Absolutely. You lose the kitchen and some space, usually, but the service level is the payoff.
Right. Now, the other end of the scale, shared room rentals. Hostels mainly, I guess. Super budget-friendly, but very communal.
Yeah, that's the core of it, based on MoveInStay.com's description. Bunk beds, shared bathrooms are the norm. The big win is the price, obviously. Makes longer stays possible for people on tight budgets.
And it's social, right? You meet loads of people.
Definitely. Very communal. The article notes Wi-Fi is usually standard, but maybe expect extra costs for towels or something. But the key thing MoveInStay.com stresses here is Read the reviews.
Ah, yes. Crucial.
Like, really read them. Cleanliness, noise, the general atmosphere. A good hostel can be brilliant, a bad one, not so much. They are available all over, though, even in busy areas like Yao Sim Meng.
Good advice. Okay, let's look at some of the more specific types. Beachfront rentals in Hong Kong. Really?
Yeah, it might surprise some people, but moveandstay.com points to places like Sheko, Repulse Bay, or over on Lantau Island, like Chongsha Beach. You can find places right by the sea.
Wow. A different vibe entirely.
Totally. But the article gives a heads up. These get snapped up fast, so book way in advance. And really, really check those reviews and photos. Make sure beachfront actually means beachfront.
Right, not a 10-minute walk up a hill with a view if you lean out the window.
Exactly. And think about the downsides, too. Humidity, sand everywhere. Moveandstay.com says consider what kind of beach vibe you want, quiet escape or buzzing, and what amenities are non-negotiable.
Good points. Now, families. Finding kid-friendly rentals must be a priority for parents. What should they look for?
Safety first, definitely. Moveandstay.com recommends looking for essentials like cots, high chairs, maybe even some toys or books provided, window guards, covered outlets, that kind of thing.
Yeah, peace of mind stuff.
And location near parks or playgrounds is a huge plus.
Yeah.
Extra space is good too, maybe a separate living area, and definitely a decent kitchen for meals. The article's story about a place full of breakables really hammers home why you need to ask specifically if it's child-friendly.
Oh gosh, yes. Nightmare scenario.
MoveAndStay.com also suggests maybe looking in quieter, more residential areas for families.
Okay. And what about our furry friends? Pet-friendly rentals. Is that a thing in Hong Kong?
It's getting easier, according to MoveAndStay.com. More options are popping up. But, and this is a big, but you absolutely have to double-check the specific pet policy with the host. Size limits, extra fees, get it all confirmed.
Right, don't just assume.
And think practicalities, nearby parks for walks, enough space inside. MoveAndStay.com also mentions you might need to factor in extra cleaning. Apparently, some pet-friendly places on Hong Kong Island get good reviews for location and quality.
Helpful to know. Okay, something that sounds lovely in a packed city. Rentals with outdoor seating. A balcony or patio.
Oh yeah, that can be a real bonus. A little patch of outdoor space to just breathe. MoveSay.com says think about how you'd use it. Quiet coffee spot, place to have friends over. Check the size, privacy, any furniture. They mention you can find apartments like this in places like Yao Sim Meng too.
A little urban sanctuary. Nice. We mentioned service departments briefly. MoveAndStay.com gives them a bit more focus. What's the key differentiator again?
That middle ground. You get more space than a hotel, often a kitchen, but with services like regular cleaning, maybe a reception or manager on site. Furnished, utilities often included. MoveAndStay.com mentions Weave residences as a more upscale example with flexible leases.
So convenience plus more of a home feel. But the article says compare the cost to a regular apartment, right? See if the services are worth the extra.
Exactly, way up the value. They are often in very central spots, though.
Okay. And moveandstay.com loops back to family-friendly, again with specifics. What else besides safety?
Yeah, they reiterate looking for those kid-specific amenities, cots, high chairs, maybe some games, proximity to parks again. And, crucially, check the kitchen setup and read reviews from other families about noise, getting around with strollers, that sort of thing.
Ah, the parent-to-parent intel. Very useful. And rentals with breakfast, common in hotels, less so elsewhere.
That's what moveandstay.com indicates. You have to actively look for it in apartments or guest houses. Check the listing details, read reviews, and maybe even message the host directly. What does breakfast actually mean? Is it just some toast? Can they handle dietary needs? The article's story about a disappointing breakfast is a good warning.
Yeah, breakfast included can mean many things.
Okay.
Okay, and rentals with a patio revisited beyond just having one. What else?
MoveAndStay.com gets more specific. Think about the size, the layout, the privacy, the view. Is it looking at a brick wall or something nicer? Is it covered so you can use it even if it rains? It's positioned as a real enhancement to your stay.
A definite plus. Now, a tricky one. Smoking-friendly rentals. Getting harder to find.
Very much so. According to MoveAndStay.com, regulations are tighter. Their advice is read the rental agreement very carefully, ask the host directly, and maybe look for places with balconies or patios where it might be permitted outdoors. Respect for the property and neighbors is key. They mentioned Novotel Century Hong Kong as a hotel that might still have smoking rooms.
Good to clarify up front. And beach access, revisited moveandstay.com, really stresses verifying that proximity, right?
Absolutely. That story about the misleading description, check maps, read reviews. Also consider Do they provide beach towels or chairs? How easy is the actual path to the beach? The article includes a really useful table comparing places like Repulse Bay, Sheko, Big Wave Bay based on access, amenities, crowds. Very practical. They also highlight the Fullerton Ocean Park Hotel as a luxury service apartment option right on the water.
That table sounds super helpful for beach lovers. Okay, condo rentals. What's the typical setup there?
MoveAndStay.com describes these as offering comfort and convenience, often in modern buildings. A big perk is usually access to building facilities, gyms, pools are common. You'd consider location, amenities in the condo itself, and size. There's a nice anecdote about a stay in mid-levels. You find them across the city, often with balconies and easy self-check-in.
A good all-round option then. And guest house rentals, how do they fit in?
MoveAndStay.com positions them as more personal, maybe more local feeling than a hotel, often smaller, run by owners, potentially cheaper. You might get more interaction, a more unique cultural vibe. They can range from basic to quite nice, often in quieter areas.
More character, perhaps.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Less standardized. Now, something MoveAndStay.com really emphasizes is proximity to the MTR rentals near MTR stations. Why is that so vital?
Oh, the subway, right.
Exactly. Hong Kong's MTR is fantastic. Being near a station saves so much time, makes exploring the whole city incredibly easy. MoveAndStay.com highlights key hubs like Tsim Sha Tsui, Central, Causeway Bay as prime examples with great connectivity.
Total game changer for getting around. Okay, pools revisited rentals with swimming pool, beyond just having one.
Yeah, MoveAndStay.com digs deeper. What kind of pool is it? Infinity, rooftop, standard. Is access private or shared? And crucially, is it actually open and maintained? That cautionary tale about a closed pool is important. Check reviews for condition, crowds. There's another helpful table outlining expectations for size, hours, amenities, cleanliness.
Good things to check if a pool is a must-have. And rentals with city views revisited. What makes a view really special in Hong Kong?
Location is key, says movingstay.com. Central, Wan Chai, mid-levels often offer those iconic skyline views. But also floor level, window size. And again, manage expectations by reading reviews. City view can mean a lot of things. The table summarizing typical views from different districts is a great reality check.
Got it. See the skyline, not just the building opposite. Now, luxury apartment rentals revisited. What are the extra touches?
High-end finishes, amazing views, top-tier amenities like concierge services, private gyms, maybe stunning rooftop pools. MoveAndStay.com mentions prime spots like Central, mid-levels, Repulse Bay. Research is key here to know what's included. Luxury service departments are also an option. Things like in-unit washer dryers or specific harbor views are common features mentioned.
The premium experience. But let's flip that budget-friendly rentals revisited. Where can people save money?
MoveAndStay.com suggests looking outside the absolute center, maybe Sham Shui Po or into the new territories. Also, travel off-season if you can. Book ahead, be flexible with dates, maybe even negotiate gently for longer stays. Watch out for hidden fees, though. Options include hostel private rooms, guest houses, basic service departments, often with monthly rates, including utilities. But always, always read reviews for safety and cleanliness.
Smart tips. And modern studio rentals revisited, sleek and efficient.
Yeah, MoveAndStay.com describes them as contemporary, space-savvy places, great for solo travelers or couples. Open plan, good kitchenette, stylish bathroom, reliable Wi-Fi, aircon. The story about a good one in Changwon paints a nice picture. Location, amenities, price are the things to weigh up. Kennedy Town service departments get a mention.
Sounds practical and stylish. No, something different. Traditional Hong Kong flats. What's that experience like?
MoveAndStay.com presents these as a way to connect with the city's history. They're often in older buildings, maybe with unique architectural quirks. Layouts differ from modern places, and they're often in older neighborhoods near local markets. It's framed less about luxury, more about an authentic, immersive cultural feel.
Interesting. Embracing the heritage. Okay,
Yeah.
finally, revisiting specific areas. Rentals in Tsim Sha Tsui and Central and more. Any final tips or warnings?
For TST, MoveAndStay.com stresses again. Check reviews, check policies, confirm amenities. That warning about construction noise really highlights checking the immediate surroundings. For central and nearby areas like Shengwan or Sai Ying Pun, the advice is basically explore beyond the obvious tourist trails. Look for unique places, but always factor in transport, budget, amenities, and reviews. The positive story about a flat in Sai Ying Pun near cool restaurants shows the rewards of looking around.
Great local insights there.
Definitely.
So to wrap things up, moveandstay.com offers a final summary and some FAQs. What are the absolute key takeaways for someone planning an extended Hong Kong stay?
The main thing moveandstay.com reinforces is just the incredible variety. Remember that 6,700 plus listing number. Options galore. But because of that, you must do your homework, read reviews, talk to hosts. The FAQs quickly recap the types of rentals, confirm kid and pet-friendly options exist, give a rough idea of cost for a two-bed, and reassure you about finding places near transport. And it's worth remembering moveandstay.com's long experience in this field over 25 years.
So the message is, choices abound, but research is king. Hong Kong really does seem to offer something for almost every need and budget for a longer visit.
Exactly. The crucial thing is to figure out your priorities first. Budget, location, must-have amenities, your travel style. Get clear on that, and then dive into the search.
And if you do that groundwork, that ideal temporary home in Hong Kong is definitely out there. It could really shape your whole experience of the city. For more details, checking out resources like moveandstay.com seems like a very good next step. Thanks so much for breaking all that down.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating city to find your place in.